Tucked in the heart of Yerevan, the capital city of Armenia, lies a serene and picturesque oasis known as Tumanian Park or the Tumo Park, as it is affectionately called by the locals. This sprawling green space is not only one of the largest parks in the city but also holds great historical significance and offers a range of activities for visitors to enjoy. Armenian Genocide Museum. This expansive complex, which was completed in 1967, was built to honor the 1.5 million Armenians killed by genocide during the 20th century. Today, this hillside memorial serves as a destination for pilgrims who want to pay homage to the fallen. Upon entering this museum, visitors are confronted with a massive stone engraved with the names of cities across Armenia and the number of people who were killed by the Turks in each one. It proves a somber reminder of the nation's loss and ushers travelers into the three buildings the complex holds: the Century of Eternity, Memorial Wall, and the Memorial Column. Visitors say this museum and landmark is a stark but beautiful reminder of the nation's history and worthy of checking out. The Mother Armenia Memorial is located in Yerevan, the capital city of Armenia. It was built to commemorate the victory of the USSR in the World War II. The memorial was opened on November 29, 1950, on the 30th anniversary of the establishment of Soviet power in Armenia in the Victory Park. Mother Armenia is a female personification of Armenia. Her most public visual rendering is a monumental statue in this park overlooking the capital city of Yerevan. Yerevan's Cascade is situated in the northern part of the city center near the Opera House and the Matanadaran. The Cascade consists of 5 hillside terraces connected with 572 steps. The building is 302 meter high, 50 meter wide, and has a total area of 13 hectares with a 15-degree slope. The uppermost platform is called the Monumental Terrace. It houses the 40th anniversary of Soviet Armenia monument, standing 118 meters tall. The terrace consists of a zone bordered by 15 columns, symbolically reflecting Armenia's historical heritage. Each floor and sector of the external staircase is a unique work of art. In the inner part of the building, there are elevators and escalators connecting all platforms from the foundation to the top. The entire territory of the architectural heritage is an open-air museum of modern art lying amid the green space. It is a complex of massive stairs with fountains that rise from the Thamayan Street pedestrian area in the central Canton district. Next, we continue our trip to Sevanavank Monastery. Like the nearby Sevanavank, Sevanavank Monastery is also built on the edge of the Dzor, the canyon of the Kazakh stream. It is beautifully located just above a large gorge, well preserved for its age. Inside it looks dignified and majestic, though a little gloomy. The medial spirit perfectly continues to live here today. It's not easy to get there, but the monastery is worth it. On the way to Sevanavank, we see the snow-filled mountains, a beautiful scenic beauty. The monastery of Sevanavank was one of the richest and most prominent spiritual and cultural centers of the Middle Ages. According to the legend, Gregory the Illuminator was the founder of the church. They say that Saint Gregory saw this place from the slopes of Mount Aragats and decided to build a church there. It is believed that a total of 70,000 prisoners entered the monastery. The priest of Sevanavank is said to have turned the prisoners into doves and then released them through a narrow church window. The doves then flew far into the native mountains, landed on their homes, and turned back into people. The land of Armenia was again peaceful and free from Tamerlane and his army. After being in the heart of the nature for some time, the next best place to visit is the Alphabet Park. Here you can see giant stone letters dedicated to the founder of Armenian's alphabet. Set against the backdrop of Armenia's Mount Ararat, the letters and a statue of mascots pay tribute to the complex and unique language, a national point of pride of Armenia. Sometimes you might have no wish to learn the language of the country you're visiting, especially if it's so difficult and complicated as Armenian language. But there are things that simply make you not only think of it but even start learning just because an unknown desire is born in you to explore this country in its own language. One thing that usually drives at least 7 out of 10 tourists to start learning Armenian is Mount Ararat, the most sacred mountains of Armenians. Both the mountains, the Ararat and the Ararat, has to be added to your wish list if you have plans to travel to Armenia. The scene of these mountains is breathtaking and is always in the center of attraction of those people, including young and old, who love mountains, who love camping, and who love climbing high peaks. The climate varies depending on the height. The higher you climb, the colder the weather will be. In general, during summertime, the weather is moderately warm on the slopes and cold in winters, while at peaks, it might be really cold even during the summers. As already said, the mountains has 4 summits. If you are planning to have a round trip, then consider spending as long as 12 to 13 hours on the mountain. The lowest and nearest summit is the southern, which can be reached within 2 hours from the lake. If you wish to reach the western summit, then from the southern, it will take additional 1 to 2 hours to get there. The northern summit will take 4 hours from the lake. On the way to Garni, not far from the village of Vakshabaret, there is an unremarkable arch. You would probably miss this arch unless you know what is hidden behind it. A double arch of stone stands on the top of a hill. As soon as you step in the arch, you will see the majestic mountain and amazing landscape. The words from the poem of Sharon's are engraved on the arch. Past the whole world, there's no summit as white as that of Ararat. Like glory, road unreachable, I love as well my mount masses. Great view, but must make sure to arrive on a day with good visibility so to get the full effect of this amazing place. This place is one of the favorite stops for practically all kinds of tourists. One cannot just resist the temptation not to take few photos against the backdrop of the mountain. Experiencing extraterrestrial sensations does not require traveling to the planets of the solar system. You can simply stand in front of this marvelous natural creation and instantly feel like you are on Mars. Nature has crafted something on Earth that I believe cannot be replicated anywhere else. This is a place called Symphony of Stones. This is a stunning natural monument situated in Garni Gorge of Armenia. The monument is comprised of hexagonal and pentagonal basalt columns that formed from volcanic lava cooling and crystallizing. These columns are arranged in a semicircle and tower up to 50 meters in height. The monument is referred to as the basalt organ due to its resemblance to a pipe organ. It is a renowned tourist attraction and is widely considered to be one of the most magnificent natural marvels in Armenia. This is a well-known attraction among tourists and is recognized as one of the country's most magnificent natural wonders. It is a favored location for hiking, picnicking, and photography. Additionally, the Symphony of Stones is a sought-after venue for weddings and other noteworthy occasions. Situated near the Armenian capital, this amazing natural formation looks as if the god wants to play music. 23 km east of Yerevan, Armenia, just below the village of the same name, lies the breathtaking Garni Gorge, with cliff walls of well-preserved basalt columns carved out of the Gorge River on its sides. This part of the gorge is known as the Symphony of the Stones, and it's easy to see why. The columns suspended against gravity resemble an organ, which explains why the natural monument is also called the basalt organ. The soundtrack is provided by the river that flows through the gorge and fills the splendor of the stones within the symphony of water. The Symphony of Stones is a wonder of the world found in Garni, just below the Garni temple. It seems to be a music to hear, but it is really a one magnificent artwork of nature. It is for sure a treasure of Armenia. The monastery complex of Gaghat is one of the most outstanding sites in Armenia. Nearly any tour to the historic sites of Armenia starts with this ancient monastery. If an Armenian family has a guest from a foreign country, the next morning the host of the house is likely to say, "First we should start with Garni Gaghat." The first thing that captures and fascinates travelers is the inexpressible and breathtaking spirit of antiquity. Just imagine standing in the middle of an ancient monastery carved into a rock with magnificent views of the surrounding mountains. And it's here that with every breath you feel a 1,000-year history which is literally stamped at every bend of the stone. The monastery complex of Gaghat is also popular due to its close location from the capital of Armenia, Yerevan. The monastery is only 36 km away from Yerevan. The one-way route from the capital to the ancient temple takes only 45 minutes. The route to the monastery is extraordinarily picturesque. On the way to Gaghat, you can see magnificent mountain landscapes in tandem with the sun and fresh air. On the way to Gaghat, passing through the towering cliffs along the gorge of the Azat River, you can also see numerous caves that were once carved into the rocks. In these caves, archaeologists have found numerous cave paintings. This proves that once it was inhabited by prehistoric men. The next best place to visit is the Temple of Garni, which is located in the village of Garni in Kotek province. And it was once a pagan temple dedicated to the Armenian sun god Mir. Temple of Garni is situated in a very strategic location on a cliff overlooking a range of Gaghama mountains as well as the Azad River near the Ararat plain. The Temple of Garni is quite near Gaghat Monastery, which is only 11 kilometers up the Azad River.